You excited? You excited? Yeah.
I think the streamers got a lot more out of that than these people did.
Yeah.
Mike's on. Yeah.
How you feeling? Yeah?
Yeah.
You're gonna do great.
Nice. Yeah.
How was your year? Of course.
that's a new piece Dan wrote. It's going to be the connective on Yom Kippur afternoon instead of the Collins piece. Try that the same text.
אחת שאלתי.
אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש, שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי, שבתי 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 בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי, שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני,
I am so very grateful to be with all of you for this Shabbat. It has been a heavy, heartbreaking week. Sometimes it is very hard to muster a sense of Shabbat peace or calm or certainly joy. We had this week a 14-year-old carrying out a school massacre, killing 4 people, a 14-year-old. And of course, like so many of us, I cannot stop thinking about the 6 hostages who survived 330 days in hell and in darkness, only to be killed hours or days before they were about to be rescued, because they were about to be rescued. And the cruelty of that was just shattering. There have been so many tears this week. Like many of you, I imagine you watched and live streamed the funeral for Hirsch Goldberg Poland, whose parents were among the very first people that we met that had hostages. They came to this sanctuary on October 23rd and spoke on this bima in a full sanctuary and told us their heartbreaking story. And we all truly believed that one day we were going to be welcoming Hirsch into our sanctuary, promised him an aliyah. So it is so hard to imagine how we find the joy in a week like this. And yet, just as she has so many times over the last 11 months, I learned from Rachel how we were going to do Shabbat. Because on the most excruciating day of her life, her son's funeral, she opened her words with gratitude. She said, I want to do a hakarat hatov and thank God right now for giving me this magnificent present of my Hirsch. For 23 years, I was privileged to have this most stunning treasure, to be Hirsch's mama. She took my breath away, and I thought, if she can find gratitude, and she even offered words of hope that somehow this would be the way that they would get to the end of this horrible mess they were in, I thought, if she can find hope and gratitude, we are all going to have to find some way to find our gratitude and our hope this week. So I'll begin with gratitude that you're all here. Gratitude that you are here, those of you who are watching us from all over on live stream and Facebook and Jewish broadcasting service. And we want you to know that even if you feel like you're isolated and alone wherever you are not, that you are with all of us. And I want to give gratitude to our musicians who are going to help us bring some joy and gratitude into this space, to our security who kept us safe as we came in here, our shamashim who greeted us as we came in, to our AV team, our operations team for making all the magic happen. And if you need just a little extra for us to feel grateful and joyful tonight on this Shabbat, it is that we are going to be installing Rabbi Sivan Rothholtz officially onto our team at Central Synagogue, and I couldn't be more grateful to add this incredibly gifted and talented rabbi to our team. Joining Rabbi Mo Solf, Rabbi Ari Lorge, Rabbi Lisa Rubin, our cantoral intern Jeremy Sipe, Cantor Dan Mutlu, and I'm Rabbi Angela Buchdahl. So now you know who we are. We're not going to really make Shabbat, though, until we know who we're sitting with and praying with. So just take a moment and greet each other and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. It's beautiful. Let's bring a little more light of Shabbat. I'd like to invite up Olivia Meltzer, Miriam Block, Francois Vane, Marjorie Lyons, Luke Rosenthal, Diane Sachs, and Cheryl Tobe to help us bring in the light of Shabbat, if you'll come up to the front. Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh. You can find it on your order of service or on page 10 of your Siddur.
Yedid Nefesh Barachaman Meshoch Abdecha
Quickly, so we are turning to Lachadodi, page 20 and 21. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and we come to that last verse. If you're able, I invite you to embody that welcome with rising and turning towards the door and helping our Sabbath bride come in.
לקראת כלה, יללללי בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה, יללללי לך דודי, יללללי לקראת כלה, יללללי בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתחילה. ילללי, ילללי לך דודי, ילללי לקראת כלה, ילללי בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה.
בשלום, עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, Ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la.
Page 147. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bekochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mesane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmaroteha birakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים.
Page 148, responsively. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by an ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before, and at each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
This moment, I'd like to invite up Lily Pearlson Brewer to join me up on this podium. With your parents, you can bring them too. Oh, you look great up here, Lily. Lily, not long ago, I had the joy of co-officiating your parents' wedding on this bima, and it was a dream that you would come into their lives, and here you are, their dream fulfilled. I remember being struck that your parents talked a lot about the importance of connecting to their roots and generations of their family. And you have particularly deep roots here at Central. It is unusual, but not completely rare, when we can name a fourth-generation child in this community. But I can't remember the last time we had a baby who had multiple grandparents and great-grandparents from both sides of the family who are pillars in this community. Just for a little bit of context, this is your maternal grandmother, Lois, at her wedding. The back of the sanctuary, you recognize this, with your great-grandparents, Sam and Ruth Pearlson. Sam, of blessed memory, was the founder of our congregation's daily minyan more than 40 years ago. And now your grandmother, Lois, is one of the leaders in that minyan. And she and Ruth is so blessedly still with us, and she taught a Shabbat class and many other things. And look at the many generations in your family now in this community. And this, on your other side, your maternal grandfather, Stuart, over on the right, walking his mother, your great-grandmother, Merle Ginsburg, down the central aisle for her second marriage. And here is Lois, your grandmother, in her confirmation picture. There she is, on this bima. I won't even say what year that was, but she looks great. But on your dad's side, Sam's side, you have a paternal great-grandmother, Carol, who was also confirmed on this bima. Look at that, in 1952. That is what we call yichus in Yiddish. That means good lineage. You have some serious yichus here at Central Synagogue on both sides. Your English name, Lily, is in memory of your father's Aunt Laura, who was a deeply kind, warm, loving, and thoughtful person. And Lily is also inspired by your still living great-grandmother, Lilo, an incredibly strong and brave Holocaust survivor who is 103 years old and watching us by live stream. So I want us to all wave to your great-grandmother, who has the blessing of seeing her great-granddaughter blessed on this bima and inspired by your name. And your Hebrew name is Shoshana, a translation of Lily in Hebrew, which works beautifully for honoring your great-grandfather, Sam. I want to say that I was so blessed to know Sam, a man of incredible intellect and integrity. I remember when I first met him, I was quite intimidated by him, but then I got to know that he had the biggest heart and loved him. Your name and your family, well, it's a lot to live up to, Lily, but you are carrying it so beautifully, Shoshana. And we, your community, we already love you. We want to take you up to the ark and offer you a blessing. Can I invite the congregation to please rise? Okay, how's she gonna? Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך shalom. I'm not going to push my luck. May you feel God's love and light and peace, and we say amen. Please be seated.
So we have started the Hebrew month of Elul, the 6th month on the Hebrew calendar, and the preparatory month for the high holidays. So we know the holidays are just around the corner. And as such, we'll be transitioning to some high holiday tunes and music, starting with the Micha Mocha.
Micha Mocha Ma'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar Kodesh Norah Tehilot Osef Eleh Malechutecha Ra'u Vanecha Mokei Hayam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Ze'eli Anu Ve'yamero Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
This prayer, we ask for God to put a sukkot shalom over the people that we love, even people we don't know, but who are in deep need of protection and love. So we need this prayer more than ever this week. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim hashkivenu hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom
תפתח ופיה כי תהילתך. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, וחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, וחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללו סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We now continue silently at our own pace, either standing or seated as is your custom. It's times like these where we need to lean into blessing. And we are very fortunate tonight to be blessed by the presence of Deborah Sachs-Mintz, who will come here to share a setting of Min HaMetzar that she wrote. and with the blessing of her beautiful voice.
This past Sunday, many of us clergy here on the Bema, and I know many of us in the congregation, joined with 2,000 people in Columbus Circle to mourn the 6 hostages that were recently murdered and to show support for the more than 100 remaining hostages. Among them were the parents of Omer Nutra, a 22-year-old dual citizen of the United States and Israel. Omer grew up in Long Island, a sports lover who played volleyball and soccer and was the captain of his basketball team. He decided to join the IDF and serve before heading to Binghamton University. Omer's mother spoke to all of us on Sunday, asking, how is it that 11 months into this nightmare, we are not home yet, caught in this geopolitical nightmare in which we fear our son and the hostages are not the priority. Another speaker reminded us the hostages should not be a political issue. The hostages should be a worldwide humanitarian issue. And we welcome everyone from every stripe and from every corner of our planet to reach out to their leaders to demand that Hamas release every single hostage. And now I invite you to join us in reading the prayer for Israel and those taken captive. You can find it on the back of our order of service. Eternal God, we ask your blessing for the state of Israel and all who live there at this time of war and loss. Give strength to the bereaved and bind up the wounds of the injured. Grant wisdom and vision to the leaders of the region. Holy One, have mercy and compassion on all innocents who suffer in this ongoing war. Grant strength and shelter to the thousands who are displaced in Israel and Gaza. Inspire the hearts of our brothers and sisters held captive to keep holding out hope. Please, eternal source of life, bring them out from their darkness and the shadow of death. Release them, redeem them, bring them home. Amen. And we extend our prayers to those in need of healing of the body and the mind and the spirit, those who have been suffering and struggling with challenges of abuse and addiction. And we name these dear ones to our community, these dear ones connected to our community before we say our prayer for healing. Karen Chaikin, Nathan and Susan Chernov, Joan Markowitz, Jack Newman, Marvin Schlachter, Joanne Stern, and Carmen Vaughn. And invite you to say aloud or in your heart names of those you are praying for this Shabbat. For all of them and for all of us, we pray this prayer for healing, also found in our order of service.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say,
Abraham.
as our cantor said, a source of strength during this time are the blessings that are in our lives, small and large. And so I will name a few right now. The first one I want to name is something I don't get to do that often. Murray, where's Murray? I know you're sitting in the congregation, but I don't know where. Say again? Break on the right side. Okay, good. I need to stop by here. We are celebrating someone in our congregation who is over 100 years old, just turned 100 this week. Murray Mazel Tov. And Murray has remained committed to this community for more than 56 years. For those of us keeping score, that's more than half his life that he has been connected to our community. And we wish you continued strength, Murray, and congratulations on your birthday. We have a few others a little younger than Murray that we want to recognize. If you're becoming bar or bat mitzvah this Shabbat, I want to ask you to please rise. We're thrilled for you. Ava, Jack, Clara, and Ariel, you can rise. And we invite your parents to rise, and your grandparents, and your siblings, and any other family or friends that are here. You are our first b'nai mitzvah of the fall, and Rabbi Lawrence has told us that we could not have better b'nai mitzvah starting us off this season, and we're so thrilled for all of you, and thrilled for us as a community as you inspire us. Congratulations. If you're a family or friend of baby Lily, we want to recognize you again and invite you to rise. It's not her bar mitzvah, but it's her installation. So if you're a loved one of Rabbi Sivan Rohotz, please rise. If you're celebrating a birthday this week, maybe not 100, but another birthday this week, we'll invite you to rise. And if you are celebrating an anniversary this week, we'll invite you to rise. Congratulations to you. If this is your first time in the Central Synagogue sanctuary, we want to formally welcome you and invite you to rise. It's so nice to have you. If one of your loved ones started school this week, we'd love to recognize that milestone. If you're happy that the NFL season has started and that the Jets and Giants are both undefeated still, we'll invite you to rise. And if you're just happy to be in this wonderful sanctuary with us, we'll invite you to rise as we celebrate our blessings by singing Shechianu. Baruch atah the congregation to remain standing if you're able as we take the Torahs out of the ark into the congregation.
seated. For the honor of installing our new rabbi, I want to invite up someone who is well known in this community, Abby Pogrobin, who is a former president of this congregation, a frequent teacher of ours and a teacher of mine, but most importantly, a teacher and inspirer of Sivan Rothholtz, our new rabbi. And I remember hearing Abby talk about Sivan about a decade ago and this extraordinary person, and boy, would she make a great rabbi. And here we are 10 years later, and she is on our bima. And it really is, in many ways, because of Abby that she is here. You'll hear more of the story, but I'd like to invite Abby up now.
Shabbat Shalom. Anyone here who knows me would never describe me as Zen. More likely, really impatient, a little judgmental, a worrier, one who rushes too much, meditates too little, could really use a little more Sabbath energy, pausing and breathing, which is why I've been so blessed to have Sivan Rothholtz in my life. Before she was a rabbi, she was rabbinic. Steady, wise, comforting, insightful, boosting and anchoring. 10 years ago, when I was looking for a research assistant, a journalist friend introduced me to Sivan, Israeli-born, San Francisco raised, law school and MFA in poetry and a specialization in women of biblical literature. And he told me she was rare. That was an understatement. Sivan carries a kind of special light, not only because of her warmth, intuition, keen attention, and astute problem solving, but because she loves Judaism for all the reasons that I believe will sustain it. Bottomless meaning, resilience despite all those who try to destroy it, a potential to heal us and connect us in the deepest ways. We have all encountered people who can wrestle with dense ideas, but cannot at the end of the day turn a puzzle into a solution. Sivan can, with intelligence and alacrity. Conversely, we have all watched people who are efficient without compassion. Sivan possesses that rare alchemy of sensitivity and productivity, of appreciating complexity without ever letting it paralyze her. She warms to the hurdles of an issue and enjoys untying the knots of a problem, be it intellectual or spiritual. She does not settle for good enough, and though she is one of the kindest, most emotionally attuned, patient people I know, she can also be refreshingly blunt and unsentimental when the moment or the work requires it. The parsha of this week, Shoftim, includes a line we've heard so often that it can feel more like a cliche than a bracing charge. Justice, justice shall you pursue. But for Sivan, it's no slogan. She takes that directive very seriously. When she told me she decided to become a rabbi, I was both moved and energized by her reasons. She described watching how Judaism, and by extension, Judaism's translators, rabbis, how they can change a life. She wants to be with people at their most acute moments, painful or exuberant. And she seems a lot less interested in the idea of rabbi as public figure than rabbi as teacher, leader, listener, consoler, one who walks us through the wilderness, and we all know will be there someday. I was not surprised to watch Sivan become not just a stellar rabbinical student with a master's in Hebrew letters and nonprofit management and leadership, but that she was chosen for the Wexner Graduate Fellowship, the year-long Hartman Institute Rabbinic Seminar, and ATRA, the Center for Rabbinic Innovation. When Sivan came to me a few years ago, while she was still up to her ears in rabbinical studies, not to mention parenting two adorable children, and told me that her dream was to work in Central's Exploring Judaism program and to learn from its director, the amazing Rabbi Lisa Rubin, I was over the moon, even though I knew it meant I would lose her as my research assistant. I personally believe that Central's introduction to Judaism is the gold standard. But I was also curious. Why did Sivan gravitate towards the rabbinic work of introducing Judaism to those who have not necessarily fallen in love with it yet? She told me that was exactly the point. She so fervently wants to share what she loves about our Jewish expanse, its stories, its responsibilities, its rituals, with those who might not yet have discovered the magic. But she could also get inside what might make someone feel daunted. Sivan has an intuitive grasp of what might make someone who is not Jewish or someone born Jewish who doesn't feel connected, invested, or well-versed, what might make them hesitate to take on learning or Jewish practice. She gets what gets in the way, and she listens without judgment. Sivan is the kind of rabbi with whom I can imagine my kids sitting and asking their hardest questions, especially after a week like this one. Tomorrow's Haftorah is Isaiah 51:12, the fourth of a series of what are known as the 7 Haftorot of consolation. I learned recently that the 7 Sabbaths after Tisha B'Av, which takes us up to Rosh Hashanah, are known as Sheva de Nechamata, the 7 of consolation, because on each of these Sabbaths, the Haftarah reading contains a prophecy of comfort. I love those words, a prophecy of comfort. God knows we all need that after this awful week. I know how much Sivan, who was born in Haifa and is tied so closely to Israel, has been struggling after the horrific news last weekend. But that makes it all the more poignant that we are welcoming her to this bima on this Shabbat, a Shabbat of consolation. She is joining the extraordinary team of clergy who console us when we're reeling and sleepless, when hope these days feels like a much steeper climb. Sivan gives me comfort. I will venture to say she will care about comforting you, not just because she's better than the Calm app, but because she's wise. Not just because she's hardworking, but because she wants to work so hard for the Jewish people. I hope you will join me in welcoming her to our family. She is worthy of Central standards, its legacy, and its covenant.
Shabbat Shalom. When I woke up on Sunday to the news of the murder of 6 hostages, I wondered how I could possibly be installed tonight, just 5 days later. How could I focus on joy and gratitude when the Jewish people are grieving? How could I be celebrated when Alexander, Almag, Carmel, Eden, Hirsch, and Ori were alive 1 week ago, and now they are not? I know that I'm unfamiliar to many of you. That's the point of an installation, to welcome and introduce a new member of this clergy team. So as we press forward, both celebrating and mourning here together tonight, I hope that you'll permit me to tell you a bit about my connection to Israel. As Abby mentioned, I was born in Haifa, and I am a 4th-generation progressive Zionist. My great-grandparents came to Israel in the second Aliyah planting eucalyptus trees to dry the malaria swamps. This is, in fact, my great-grandfather's talit that I'm wearing tonight. My parents were founding members of Shalom Achshav and have been advocating for peace since before I was born. Hebrew was the first language spoken in my home. I visited Israel often as a child, worked and studied there throughout my life, and recently lived in Jerusalem for 3 years. I am an Israeli American, even if my Hebrew will always disappoint my family. Israel is one of my homes. When I left in 2022, I toured the streets of Jerusalem openly weeping. As the poet Yehuda Halevi famously wrote, Libi bamizrach, my heart is in the east. This has only been more true since October 7th. I have agonized alongside you for these past 336 days, knowing that it was our mishpacha, our family, that suffered so horrifically at the hands of Hamas terrorists. The 6 hostages murdered this past week were all our brothers and sisters. Having been ordained and now being installed in a post-October 7th world, I've spent a lot of time thinking about what it means to be a rabbi in this moment. There are no easy answers, but I feel both blessed and feel a great sense of responsibility to be in this role, in this hour. As I contemplate what it means to be on this remarkable bima, celebrating on this of all Shabbats, it is the light of our tradition that guides me. It is the knowledge that Judaism always holds struggle and blessing simultaneously. Whether we sing Shehechianu right after the Mishe Berach, have a barbecue on Yom HaAtzmaut just hours after Yom HaZikaron, or stand under the chuppah the day after a funeral. Tonight is, for me, the inverse of the breaking of the glass at a wedding. A moment of celebration to remind us of what is good in the world amidst a daily reality that too often reminds us of what is not. And so I want to dedicate my installation to the memories of Alexander, Almog, Carmel, Eden, Hirsch, and Ori, and to lift up my gratitude as a prayer for the safe return of the remaining 101 hostages. Bring them home now. As I focus on appreciation, I offer thanks to the many people without whom I would not be here tonight. First and foremost, I want to thank one of Central's past presidents, Abby Pogrebin. As Abby mentioned, I was blessed to serve as her research assistant for 10 years. In that time, I learned that she works tirelessly as a champion of rabbis. In my case, I don't know that I would be a rabbi were it not for Abby's unending generosity, help, and guidance. Thank you, Abby, for teaching me what it means to care so much about the Jewish story and our wider Jewish family. I also owe a special debt of gratitude to Rabbi Lisa Rubin, not only for taking a chance on me, but for building the Center for Exploring Judaism, a program that exemplifies the big tent of Reform Judaism. And I must thank Rabbi Angela Buchdahl, who has built something extraordinary here at Central Synagogue, who saw potential in me to serve in this world-class shul before I saw it in myself, and who challenges and inspires me to grow into a better rabbi every day. I also want to thank the exceptional clergy I have the privilege of working alongside. Cantors Mutlu and Pearsall, and Rabbis Berman, Crystal, Davis, Haber, Lorge, Mandel, Rosenthal, and Salth. Each and every one of you has been integral to my feeling at home at Central. How lucky am I to learn from such generous, thoughtful, and talented rabbis and cantors. To the dedicated staff in the 4th floor clergy study, the unparalleled team in the adult engagement department, especially Rachel LaQuersha, Carolyn Ressler, and Marina Nebro, and the talented humans across the street at 110, you have supported me in every way imaginable, and I simply could not do this work without you. And a special thanks to our exceptional executive director, Marcia Caban, who had a vision for my role and has already taught me so much. And to our director of adult engagement, Shira Epstein, who encourages us all to be imaginative, responsive, and effective. I would also like to thank our president, John May, and all of the officers, trustees, board members, and committee members whose dedication behind the scenes cannot be overestimated. I have to acknowledge the many teachers, mentors, guides, and rabbis who impacted my growth and journey, and the friends who have been with me on this unexpected ride, including my loved ones who came out to support me tonight, Marcia Kolker, Lou Sandberg, and Rabbis Deborah Sachs-Mintz and Jack Sherritt. Finally, I offer my gratitude to my Center for Exploring Judaism students. Being your teacher and guide has truly been one of the great gifts of my life. There is no forgetting the sorrow of this past week, but our story moves forward. We show up for Shabbat again. We bow to the east, recite the Shema and Kaddish, and the clergy of this synagogue insist we keep to the plan. A new rabbi will be installed. I couldn't be more humbled or more grateful. Thank you all for summoning this celebration despite all the heartbreak. May I always be guided by our tradition so that I might serve you well. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Light up the CDs. Yeah, it's the Torah. All of the current and former Center for Exploring Judaism students who I have had the pleasure of working with. So if you are here, please come up for an aliyah. It's a beautiful sight. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you for honoring your teacher and honoring us.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Shoftim v'shotrim, titen lecha b'chol she'arecha, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvatecha, v'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek, lo tateh mishpat lo takir panim velo tikach shochad ki hashochad יעבר עיני חכמים ויסלף דברי צדיקים. צדק צדק תרדוף למען תחיה וירשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'zochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
I cannot think of a better testimony to our new rabbi than to see all of you up on this bima who have embraced Judaism in all the different ways that you have. You truly honor us and you lift us up in a week that has been very challenging. So thank you for that honor. And welcome, Sivan. We'll invite everyone to please rise as we give honor to the Torah.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael Ani Adonai Re'ah Moshe
Invite up Hilly Haber. I think missing any of our other rabbis, Rabbi Sarah Berman to come on up. We're going to do a blessing, a little clergy huddle we call it, where we're going to offer just a few words of private blessing to Rabbi Sivan as she sets on her path blessedly with this community, but she really serves the wider Jewish community. And I invite you in this moment to offer your own blessings on her and send up blessings into a world that need it right now.
Adonai yishmor tzeitecha uvoecha. Adonai, Adonai yishmor tzeitecha uvoecha. Me'ata, me'ata, me'ata ve'ad olam. Me'ata, me'ata, me'ata ve'ad olam.
Please be seated. As we prepare to recite Kaddish, we prepare to do something that we wished we would never need to do. To include the names of these 6 hostages murdered this week by Hamas. 6 beautiful and vibrant souls. After surviving 328 days in captivity, 328 days of an existence we cannot fathom, their lives were just snuffed out by a gunman's whim, without remorse, without pity, executed for the crime of being Jewish and being close to rescue. During these 328 days, we learned their names, we came to recognize their faces, we shared their stories here from this bima. We prayed for their release. We advocated for their safe return. The collective hearts of the Jewish world yearned and toiled to bring them home. But God forgive us, it was not enough. This week, we, along with the Jewish community around the world, buried them, and now we begin our mourning formally. To their families, we vow to remember them, and we pledge to fulfill God's promise made in Isaiah. In our sanctuary and within these sacred walls, we will give them a Shem Olam, an everlasting name, Lo Yikaret, which shall not perish. We will remember them not for the senseless brutality of their death, but for the quality and character of their remarkable lives. And their legacy will endure. Their names will be a blessing. As we've lit a candle for each of them, we'll now say their names. And I'll invite the congregation, all of us together after we recite their name, to recite it back in one strong voice. For these names will ever be on our lips and in our hearts.
Hirsch Goldberg, Poland.
Hirsch Goldberg, Poland.
Eden Yerushalmi.
Eden Yerushalmi.
Ori Danino.
Ori Danino.
Alexander Lobanov.
Alexander Labanov.
Carmel Gat.
Carmel
Gat.
Almog Sarusi.
Almog Sarusi.
To these names we light this candle here. Now for all of the names that we carry and who we mourn on this Shabbat, including these dear ones who died in recent weeks. Richard Brilliant, Oliver Freiberg, Sylvia Kessler, Hans Laufer, Thomas Herbert Schwartz, Francis Sanchez, and Gladys Spitzer. And these from our community whose yard sites occur. Harry Adelberg, Edward Barback, Alvin Becker, Bernard Berglass, Martin Berkowitz, Roberta Biblowit, Martin Blaustein, Richard Stephen Kasher, Barbara Cohn,
Harry S. Ehrlich, Bruce Eisen, Ness Gaines, Frederica Garfunkel, Robert Girdwagon, Stuart Goldsmith, Robert Graff, Henry Greenberg, Howard Green, Doris Gross, Sidney Harmon, Morton Hertzmark, Morton Hirsch, Bernard Isaacs, Janae Jasmine Johnson, Richard Kahn, Ira Kaminsky, Alfred Katzen, Sylvia Kissel, Vladimir Kopik, Bernice Lazare, Jack Levin, Cynthia Levine, Irene Lichtenstein, Beat Rosenbaum Madnick, Frida Mark, Edward Marshall, Norma Marshall, Gloria Nelson, Moses Nelson, Linda Newman, Harry Paper, Melissa Pector, Nancy Pollock, Samuel Rankin, Jerry Rosenblum, George Rosenfeld, Arlene Rosenson, Sigmund Schantz, Alan Schiffman, Eugene Schwartz, Robert Schwartzapfel, Robert Shapiro, Charlotte Schulman, Mark Schulman, Sidney Schumann, Donald Siegel, Estelle Siegel, Samuel Sobolowski, Farah Sofer, Barbara Solomon, Bernard Stern, David Strauss, Irving Sudi, Diane Unger, Doris Wexel, Bernice Weishoff, Gerard Witt, Meyer Wurst, Lynn Zeitlin Tannenbaum. We invite all who are here in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning their loss, to rise. And those who are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning their loss, to rise. And all who are here within the first year of the loss of their loved one, to rise. And if you're here to observe a yard site, we invite you to rise now too. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of your loved ones be a blessing. As we, your congregation and community, will stand to surround you as we recite the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 294 together. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chaye echon v'yom echon, uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehe shlom Rabba mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromaf. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru amen.
Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. In a moment, we'll sing Kiddush and Motzi and a closing song, but first some announcements, which I know is everyone's favorite part of the service. We want to tell you that following services just below us is an Oneg Shabbat. We hope you'll join us there, but it's sort of a choose-your-own-adventure night, because also at the same time, across the streets in Beer Chapel is an event to explore Jewish perspectives on abortion access and learn about the New York Equal Rights Amendment with our very own Rabbi Rebecca Rosenthal and Senator Liz Kruger. and that conversation will include a short screening of a documentary. We hope you'll also join us next week for Shabbat, because we're going to be joined by Rabbi Gilad Kariv, who is an MK in the Knesset, and will be here to address us in this moment.
And because it's Shabbat.
Also because it's Shabbat. We want to invite up our B'nai Mitzvah, so Ava and Jack and Clara and Ariel, come on up. And anybody who's here, who's under the age of B'nai Mitzvah, can come up to join us and get early access to challah. The bracha is on page 5, if you want to follow along.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
I'm going to give it to you. Go to Rabbi Lorge. You are in. We're going to end with a song of hope and peace, Aniv Atah, which is found on your order of service and also in your prayer book. What a great joy to have you all back up on this bima. Aniv Atah mishaneh et haolam. Ani ve'ata az yavo kedvar kulam. Amru et ze kodem lefanai, ze lo mishane, lo mishane. Ani ve'ata mishaneh et Shabbat Shalom.